Welcome and thanks for joining us on UFTV News, your outlet for all things Oiler. I'm Olivia Weil. Let's take a look at your top stories. Changes have been made within the University of Findlay Athletic Department, but not due to budgetary restrictions. Head Athletic Director Brandy Larita explains why the department decided to cut graduate assistants.
I would say that the restructure was based solely on the student-athlete experience, and budgetary restraints weren't even taken into account. I think for us, and Tom may hit me, but I will push as much as I can to even for more money if it's going to impact the student-athletes.
This decision, which was made on a university-wide level, leaves 4 graduate assistants left at the university. They're working with sports information and in strength and conditioning. 6 full-time assistant coaches have been hired to replace the 31 other GAs. The UF women's soccer team kicked off their season on Sunday with a 2-1 win in overtime against Northwood. Lauren Cunningham, the team's Make-A-Wish child, was spotlighted during the game. She is in remission after a 4-year battle with leukemia. Proceeds from the game are being donated to childhood cancer research. If you haven't heard, there's a fake flower frenzy going on at UF. Physical plant director Orion Jones says he laid the flowers down after ripping out overgrown plants near Henderson Dining Hall. After receiving backlash, he had them removed. There is still a patch of fake flowers by the Egner Fine Arts building. Jones says his grounds team is not the culprit. Now bringing you everything you need to know about UF sports is Kimberly Dona in your Sports Minute.
The UF men's soccer team opened their season Tuesday against Ohio Valley, who is currently ranked 7th in the country. Ohio Valley struck first with a goal coming within the first 10 minutes of the game. The Oilers did not find the back of the net till late in the second half. Senior Josh Dickinson scored the equalizer with the golden goal coming in the 100th minute when Dickinson assisted junior Alex Kerstetter in getting the ball to the back of the net. The football team suffered a tough loss to the number 2 ranked team in the country, Ferris State, on Thursday night. The Oilers were outplaying Ferris State and fell short during their 2-point conversion play within the last minute of the game. UF cross-country teams traveled to Grand Rapids, Michigan last weekend for the Calvin Knight Invitational. In the 6K race, former Freshman of the Year Gabriella Lawrence was the first female Oiler to finish. On the men's side, in the 8K, junior Jack Adams finished first for the Oilers in 58th place. Both the men and women's team will be back in action on Friday, September 20th. Next, the men's golf team competed in the Ohio Cup last weekend. Sophomore Caleb Westfall set a record for the 18-hole program and tied the school records for the 36-hole. Their play will continue this weekend and on into next. And finally, volleyball traveled far and wide to play a few games in Nebraska last week. With a lot of strong competition, the Oilers lost all 4 games. Back to you, Olivia.
Thanks, Kimberly. Now let's take a look at what's going on in Oiler Nation and beyond. September is National Suicide Awareness Month, and the University of Findlay is playing its role in the cause. This week, UF hosted 2 events, QPR Suicide Prevention Training, which educated attendees on how to support and spot those with suicidal symptoms. Counseling Services also hosted a Light Up the Dark event in which students lit candles on their windows to raise awareness of suicide. This Wednesday marked the 18th anniversary of the terror attacks on 9/11. According to CNN, a total of 2,977 people died that day in New York City, Washington, and Pennsylvania. To honor those who lost their lives, UF faculty, staff, and students joined Pastor Matt Gintor for a brief prayer and moment of silence. A plane crash at the Toledo airport made national headlines this week. The cargo plane crashed on top of 2 unoccupied semi-trucks parked at a repair shop near the Toledo Express Airport around 3 a.m. 2 people were killed in connection to the crash. Authorities say they received no mayday call from the plane, though. Coming up, the sequel to It seemingly has the it factor. I sit down with Dylan Fraser to see why next. But first, let's take a look at what's going on around campus. Welcome back to UFTV News. I'm joined by Dylan Frazier, editor of The Pulse and movie extraordinaire. Dylan, it seems to be popping up into conversations quite often. What did you think about it?
What did I think about it? It was, although the second act was very slow.
Okay.
It dragged at times, felt formulaic. It was carried by a very star-studded cast, featured by Bill Hader and Jessica Chastain playing Richie Tozier and Beverly Marsh. They highlighted it. The first and third act could have been, they were the best two parts of the movie, I think. The ending was terrific, but it didn't hit as much as the first one, I don't think. It's still a good movie, a perfectly serviceable horror movie, but just the second act slows it down.
Okay. All right, well, thanks, Dylan. What is up for next week so our viewers can stay tuned?
I'm not sure yet. We'll have to surprise either going to be Hustlers or Goldfinch. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll tune in next week for that. You can also find my full review in the Pulse today.
Okay, yes.
Or the pulse.finley.edu on our website.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's going to do it here for UFTV News. I'm Olivia Weil. We'll see you next week, Oiler Nation.
UFTV is your university and community TV station.